Welcome viewers to the next episode of Aditi's Expert Speak series, where we are bringing together experts from various walks of sustainability and organic to share insights and best practices that can help the consumers. I'm Dr. Karthik Nagendra. I'm your host for today, and I have a special guest with me today, Ms. Neha Rajpara. She's a microgreens grower based in Ahmedabad, and she's the face behind Seed Time Microgreens. She's here with us to share insights around growing microgreens indoor and their nutrition benefits, and how to include the superfood in your meal and reap its health benefits as well. So welcome, Sneha. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you very much for inviting me to this Expert Speak series. I appreciate the effort that Aditi Organics and team has put to create awareness about nutritious food. And I'm also thankful that this platform has given to me to share all my knowledge, and I wish all the success for this event.
Thank you. I'm sure the audience will definitely benefit from the insights that you will be sharing with us today. So, Sneha, which crops are commonly grown as microgreens? So, Sneha, which crops are commonly grown as microgreens?
There are basically 12 families which are commonly grown as microgreens. For example, Eliaceae, Asteraceae, Amaranthaceae, Brassicaceae. So in that families, there are special species that can be grown as microgreens. For example, spinach, mustard, broccoli, collard, kohlrabi, sweet pea, basil. So in fact, there are 12 commonly known families which can be grown as microgreens.
Very nice. So I didn't know that there were 12 families involved in that. So do you get these seeds easily, considering there are so many varieties, or there are certain ones which are more easily accessible for consumers to try?
Yeah, there are certain ones actually. I searched online for microgreen seeds, and I came in contact with 2-3 certified agencies, and I bought some variety from them and tried growing them at home to know who seeds are good to grow. See, we need to start from somewhere, like suppose 13 varieties of seeds are available, but when you start growing them, initiate the process, then there is a demand, and when there is a demand, then there is a supply. So right now few varieties are there which are commonly available, like a radish, pea, sunflower. But as we are growing, as we are creating an awareness about these microgreens, so people are curious to know, like, okay, broccoli can be grown as microgreens. So we contact these agencies, like, do you have broccoli? I want to grow as a microgreen. So they start to research the market area, and they make it available.
Nice.
So there are 2-3 certified agencies that I'm contacting, and we start the process.
Okay, so what made you get into this entire journey of growing microgreens?
Okay. Actually, when we faced Corona, Corona crisis is going on, and it challenged our living lifestyle. So I thought to search something which is nutritional based food and can be grown easily, and it also boosts health. And I got all my questions answered with this microgreens, which is famous worldwide. But in India, there was no such awareness about them, like people don't know existence. So I learned from the internet and tried growing different microgreens at home. I faced failure also, but I was very much determined, like, this is what I want to learn. This is what I want to grow. So I started documenting, noting do's and don'ts, and learned a lot on trial and error basis. So, and I also wanted to share these things, like whatever I have learned in the process, these things with everyone, so that they can also grow at home easily. And so I started to utilize social platforms like in YouTube. I have my channel, so I start uploading my videos in that, like how to grow them easily at home and how to include them in a meal.
Nice.
I started posting Instagram, Facebook. I started to make videos. So whatever I learned, I started to share, and I reached this stage where I can grow commercially and make it available to the people, so they can also enjoy these health benefits.
So what's the YouTube channel called, so that our viewers can also go and follow you there?
It's the channel handle is Seed Time Microgreens.
Seed Time
Microgreens.
Seed Time Microgreens. Okay.
Yes, seed.
Seed.
Seed time microgreen. Like it is the time to sow seed.
Time to sow seeds. Nice. So I would encourage all of viewers to go check out Seed Time Microgreens on YouTube, and learn practical tips on how to grow this. So what microgreens are you growing right now, both from an indoor standpoint and commercially, which you say you're ready to move forward, and are you doing it organically?
Microgreens, basically, I'll tell you what are actually these are, I'll show you.
Nice.
Okay, I'll show you. I have this tray. Is it visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, this is mustard microgreens. This is their day 5. Okay, and these microgreens are very, these greens are very young, edible form of vegetable. You can say oil seeds, herbs, and which are, they will become, after 2 days, they will become like this. They will be 2 to 3.5 inch tall.
Okay.
Which also depends on the variety of microgreens that you are growing. And they are very rich in flavor, and they can be grown within 7 to 14 days. Like that also depends on the variety that you are growing. And you can grow this throughout the year in a small space and can be grown by anyone. So, and they are highly nutritious, as it is packed with all nutrients and lots of antioxidants, and offers lots of health benefits. So this is a brief, like what are microgreens. And like commercially, if you want to grow, like I started with the indoor grow. If you want, you can grow in greenhouse, outdoor. It's totally fine, but for my setup, indoor was good. So I started with indoor growing. And as I was growing, like I said, I failed in some microgreens, like growing some microgreens. I saw that failure. And in some microgreens, and with the whole process, I learned in this whole process, I learned something. So once I was sure, like, okay, for home growers, it is okay. But some people, they don't know what are microgreens. They want to taste. They want to include them in a meal in a daily basis, but they don't have time to grow. So I made them available in a commercial basis, and I'm growing right now and selling microgreens. And you said whether we can grow them organically or not. Yeah. So yes, you can grow them organically, as till that stage, they don't require any additional fertilizer, or I can say any additional nutrients for a boost. And about pesticide, see, there are only 2 ways that you include chemical in food. First is fertilizer, or second is pesticide, right? So for pesticide, if you take some caution in some parameters like air circulation, humidity, temperature part, then there won't be any chance of any fungal or mold growth. So to that stage, nature already made all arrangements of growth in that stage. We just need to grow them in a proper, healthy way.
Nice. So how do we ensure that the growth is actually free from chemicals, harmful microbes, or unwanted heavy metals?
The growth media that I personally prefer is coco peat. Why coco peat? Is as it is made from coconut husk and give a proper aeration. It is having a good water holding capacity, so there won't be any dehydration of roots. And as it is porous in nature, if you overwater, then it will drain that extra water. And yes, sometimes you may not get the purest form. Sometimes they add soil to increase weight. Some add chemicals to preserve. And yes, there are chances that it may have contaminated by microbes, heavy metals, as you don't know the surrounding around which they are producing this product. So what I do is I wash 2 times and let that coco pit sit in water to remove excess salts. Then I sanitize media using food grade 3% hydrogen peroxide to get rid of any microbial contamination. And doing all the experiment, I reached that coco pit is the best for me. And in soil, yes, there are chances of heavy metals like lead, arsenic, but and there are no option for me to remove that. So I better prefer coco pit, as it deletes one thing that I need to be careful with. And if you need to find good quality, then you have to do trial and error basis method to find the best one. Like for soil, you can, if you are using soil as a growing medium and you are not confirm about the quality, then you can test your soil for any heavy metal contamination. Like growing microgreens is usually problem free, but some precautionary measures such as using a high quality growing medium, high quality certified seeds, and grow them under conditions that minimize this potential contamination.
Okay. So you spoke about conditions. So my next question was, can microgreens be grown under ambient conditions? And how long can we keep them harvested without controlled atmospheric conditions?
Yes, we can, but we need to take some cautions. Like, see, there are 3 major seasons in India: winter, summer, and rainy. So let's say in a winter season, there is low temperature. So germination will be slow as they require that warmth, the heat they require for germination process. Now in rainy season, humidity is high, like 65 to 85%. So there are chances of mold growth. So that is also not good, that you have to take caution in that. Now in summer season, humidity is less, temperature is high. So more chances that they will lose their humidity and they will fall. So you have to take cautions according to the season and change the method according to that. Like for a home grower, it's okay. But for commercial grower, it's good if they grow microgreens in a controlled conditions. Like microgreens are very sensitive grains. So you should be careful with the methods.
Okay. So can we dry sprouted seed materials of microgreens if the grown materials are not able to be sold?
Like if the microgreens are not able to sold, then either we can dry or not, right?
Yes. Is that possible?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can, but we should not. It's better to eat this in a fresh form, in a raw form, to get its full advantage. See, if you're not sure that these microgreens will be able to sell or not, like sell according to the orders, do not overproduce without any market demand. For the commercial level, I'm saying, like if accidentally if overproduced, then you can give to relatives, friend circle, family members. You should avoid that problem. Like if they are not able to sell according to the orders.
And you just showed me a container where you've grown microgreens. So what type of containers are suitable for growing microgreens?
Okay, I'll tell you which are not suitable first. Like there are some biodegradable trays which are available in the market. Okay, so and Erica trays, Erica palm trays are there. Yes, this will not work, as they will. Why? Because when they will come in contact with water, within 2 to 3 days, they will start to rot. At the bottom, you will see that fungal growth. So, and Erica tray will bend when you combine with water. And as the microgreens require the uniform germination, uniform growth. So, Erica trays are not successful. And I tried with this Domino's cup, like if it's visible, these are the Domino's paper cups. And in this, I'm germinating some mint. But because they are small, it's easy to water them. But when you grow in trays, like paper trays, it's easy to pour in the sideways, but very difficult in the middle area. So there is also no drainage system. So there are the chances of mold growth in there. So I use this plastic trays, reusable plastic trays, which is durable and better. And if you want to initiate, then I'll suggest this plastic cups, which are I think available in every kitchen. So you can grow in this tray, start, experiment, and then grow in large scale.
Okay. And so you spoke about a lot of health benefits of microgreens. So could you share some of these health benefits which consumers can get?
Lots of health benefits, as in the diseases which are because of the nutritional gap that they have to get from the meal. These microgreens help to balance that meal. Like in today's generation, they want to eat pizza, they want to eat burger. So lots of carbs are going there, but no protein, no vitamin, no healthy fat, nothing is going on, right? So these microgreens, just sprinkle them over any meal, have them. It will balance everything. It will heal whatever is lacking inside you. It will give you energy. For health benefits, for example, if someone is facing diabetes, someone is dealing problem with diabetes, then they should have fenugreek microgreens daily, in a daily basis, and it helps to balance it. So if someone is lacking in calcium level, so anything from the brassica family they can grow, they can include in their daily meal, and it helps to balance that. It helps to know that there is a loophole, and that it helps to balance that in that. So and cholesterol levels, kidney problems, it helps the person is facing problems with kidney. So it also microgreens also give benefits in that problems. Cholesterol level, as I said, cardiovascular diseases,
So a lot of things that it's actually got huge health benefits, and I'm not sure most people know about this.
Even in cancer also, because they provide lots of antioxidants, enzymes, phytophenols, tocopherol, glucosinolates. So there are beta carotene. There are very bioactive compounds in microgreens. It helps to lower the risk of any cancer problems or any disease. It lowers the risk.
Okay. So this is very insightful, and I will for sure include microgreens in my diet going forward. So the last question, Sneha, is, so for people who are planning to grow microgreens in their homes, right? What are some tips that you would like to share with
them? Okay. First, you should have passion for growing. Like, it is not like a one-time thing. Today I'll grow mung beans, and tomorrow I don't have time or something like that. No, you have to be consistent in that if you want to grow, and if you are health conscious. So, and if you want to change your lifestyle from healthy to healthy, so start growing in small containers, small plastic containers that I show like this. And you can use any growing medium as far as it is not contaminated by any any microorganism. You can use soil, you can use paper napkins, you can use jute, you can use cocoa peat. You can use cocoa in you will easily find cocoa peat in any nursery. So you can get that cocoa peat. Take these plastic containers, put growing medium into. Is it audible?
Yes.
Okay. Put some growing medium inside it. Sprinkle seeds. Like, there are some seeds that need to be soaked, like beet, spinach, fenugreek. big seeds that need to be soaked before sowing. So soak that seeds for 6 hours and then dry them with a paper napkin, and then spread seeds evenly.
Okay.
Put lot of seeds. They'll form a cluster.
Okay.
And suppose this is first microgreen and this is the second seed. Sorry, this is first seed. This is second seed. They will form cluster. So this is the seed that will grow. Okay, it will take all the nutrients from this seed. It will proper air circulation is given to that seed. But this seed, it will start to rot.
Okay.
And you will get fungal and mold growth. So spread seeds evenly, give them equal space, and within 2 to 3 days you will see germination, and within 7 to 8 days they will grow to 2 to 3 inch tall, like this. And you should bottom water them, like here. If you are able to see, these are the roots, and you should bottom water. So the only will get water, not to the upper top of the microgreens, because yes, seed hulls are there. So they, with continuous water and humidity level, if you didn't take precaution, mold growth, there are chances of any mold growth. So bottom water them daily, water them daily, and within 7 to 8 days they will be ready for harvesting process. And after harvest, you should because at the harvest they are very tender, they are very hard, but as the time will pass they will wilt, like there is no life. So because they start to oxidize and lose humidity. So you need to pack them in this is airtight container. So they do oxidize, and put them in refrigerator. Do not deep freeze them. Okay, they will freeze. Okay. Just put them in refrigerator to increase the shelf life.
Okay.
So for home growers, this is the process. They can do nearby window, in balcony. They just require proper light, proper water, proper air circulation.
Nice.
And about seeds, if you want seeds, you can contact a brewery farm. Some 2-3 agencies are also there. Let me know if anybody want to know where they want to get, where they can contact for seeds. I know I can share the contacts with them. So there are some agencies that I know you can get seeds from them.
Wonderful. So thanks a lot for sharing those insights and very practical tips, showing us, demonstrating how it has to be done, and even offering to connect us to growers. So we will definitely tag you once we are posting this on our Facebook channel, so that those who are interested in seriously pursuing microgreens, they can get in touch with you, and we will have more of their health benefits which the consumers can benefit from. So thank you once again for your time, Sneha. It was really nice talking.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Karthik, and thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Mr. Joseph. I personally wanted to thank you both for giving this wonderful opportunity to where I can share all these learnings. Thank you once again.
Our pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.